It's like seeing misspellings on a slide. Pretty good at that. Yeah, it's a hidden talent. Way to start out the press conference. Good to see everybody. How we doing?
How are you?
Great.
Coach, we know that there's an advantage when you have familiarity with an opponent, but what's the challenge in facing the same team back-to-back games?
I think it's what you make it. Classic Seahawk fashion. Maybe we probably overthink some things. Try not to, But I think, it's maybe like an accelerated time frame than you normally would from another, divisional game that you play twice. With not quite enough sample in between to see like where they're going. So you're really just going off of how you felt like you played the game, things you did well, maybe where you think they might take things. It's probably about it.
What was the weekend like? Did you guys get together as coaches to watch the games?
A couple of us, yeah, just kind of like one-off type things to watch them, just to hang out. But it wasn't anything like super organized. But I told the team today, like it's weird watching like full games all the way through. Like you find yourself like rooting for teams, and you're like, why am I rooting for this team? Like this is the dumbest thing ever. And then you're 5 seconds later rooting for the other team. It's like, so I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we're back to regular scheduled programming here. So.
Given what you've experienced throughout the year playing the Rams and 49ers, is it any surprise that 3 of the last 8 teams standing come from the NFC West?
No, yeah, it's a great point. We got a great division. Those guys they've earned. I think all 3 of us we've earned the to be in this position. So I think it's pretty cool actually.
Regardless of the result, is it a natural inclination that if you play a team this quick back to back, you're going to change no matter what? You're going to change for the sake of changing, so nothing's the same.
I wouldn't say we're going to change for the sake of changing.
Is that general that it's not going to look the same schematically?
Yeah, and there's things in the game plan that we didn't get to. I'm sure there's things in their game plan they didn't get to, and to use the game declaring itself type thing. I mean, you don't know how these games are going to go, and so this game is going to play out. There's about a 99.999% chance it's going to play out way different than the last one. And you got to do a great job of recognizing it and making the adjustments and doing all that type of stuff.
You guys obviously played really well on defense last time. Both games against 49ers, you guys scored 13 points. What do you guys have to do to up the point total?
Well, I think the games against the 49ers are really in all 3 phases. Like the things that determine games in our league, it's kind of magnified in these games. So you're talking about situational football, how you take care of the ball, how you finish in the red zone. Third down is a big time, 2-minute. It's a cliche answer, but really, I mean, when the teams that have kind of won those situations, I felt like has really had the nod in terms of the outcome of the game. So, but like I told the team today, it's like these are the things that we've been working on for all of our opponents. So, really, nothing changes in terms of our process and the things that we're trying to do.
You kind of went through this in 22 with the Ravens, is that right? You guys played the Bengals?
Yeah. We played the Bengals. It was a little different because the week, whatever the last week number was, there wasn't really much at stake in that game. I think both teams were in the playoffs at that point, and I think the seedings, a bunch of stuff had to happen for the seedings to not be the same going into the next week. So it was a little bit different, but yeah, played them back to back.
You mentioned that you've talked to some other coaches that had experiences with bye weeks and stuff like that to get advice. Just curious who's on that call list, and is Mike Holmgren ever someone that you check in with?
Yeah, I'll kind of leave those guys anonymous, I guess, just to respect their positions, but people that have done it at a really high level. And I'll say we kind of the same spirit of understanding what's out there, understanding what the options are, and then ultimately we made a decision that we felt like was best for us. And Coach Holmgren and I, we talk regularly, and maybe not regularly, but often. And he's been a great resource, but he's just been very, very, very supportive throughout the whole thing. It's kind of a pinch yourself type thing that you get a relationship with Mike Holmgren. It's pretty cool.
We didn't talk to you at the end of last week. How do you feel like practice went, and what were you hoping to accomplish with those 2 practices?
Well, I really just wanted us to go out and play great football. And so you know, we had different periods that meant different things and all that, but I was just really happy with our guys' intent, you know, throughout those 2 days. We got our play speeds up, you know, we got some good competitive work, and that's about it, you know. You know, when I was in Baltimore, we practiced for like 4 days. You know, we kept it like we almost did like a simulated week. There's different ways to do it. I just felt like that was best for us, and the guys can go get fresh and be ready to go today.
How did Elijah Arroyo look?
Elijah's he's looking good. He's possibility about coming back for this game.
When you look at the actual schedule, it feels like you've got a lot of experience on that short week, condensing your schedules. Does that come into play at all? I realize you're coming off the bye, but when you squeeze those days together.
Yeah. Well, the way we're treating it is just like tomorrow's. Again, I'm going to be talking about this all week, but today to me is a Tuesday. I don't know what day it is, but to me it's Tuesday because tomorrow's Wednesday and the game's Sunday. And that's how we treat it. So it's really not a shortened schedule for us. It's really a full week's worth of work for us.
We've been asking about your run defense all year, but what can you say about the guys up front in particular over the course of 17 games to do what they did?
Yeah.
And then just how that opens up everything behind it.
Yeah, well, the guys up front have been playing tremendous football, and to play the way that we play, you can't just go 1-for-1 all the time. You have to take care of your responsibility and then, you know, get to the ball, you know. That creates where you can actually cover all gaps and things like that. So they've done that, but I will say it's really the team defense that makes it come to life. You know, how we play at the second level, how we kind of fit runs at the third level, I thought has been tremendous as well. So we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for how our D-line has played, but it's also we wouldn't be here if the whole team hasn't played that way on defense in terms of stopping the run. I'll go ahead.
Sorry, you good? You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm sorry about that. With Clint and Aiden Durr, they having interviews for head coaching jobs over the weekend. How does that work logistically? With do they have to finish their game planning responsibilities first before doing?
Yeah, well, there's stuff that you need to do. It's not a work intensive week coaching wise because you're really trying to get ahead on all these things. I mean, we ended up doing a lot of work on the Packers and looked like that didn't get us anywhere. So it's, you know, so that's really what we're working on at the beginning of last week, some self-scout stuff, and then I think it worked out well that you had the 2 days off and they could kind of shift their focus, and then once it's over, then, you know, that's over, you know, and so we're able to move forward. So we're really fortunate that we had the bye. You know, the teams that are going into it this week with interviews, I think that's significantly tougher, that you have to kind of shift your brain in the latter part of the week and then, you know, still be in tune with what you're doing game plan wise.
Like back to the run defense and the 12 is one. This notion like everyone doing their 1.09. Where'd that come from? Is that something you came up with or someone you brought with you from another?
That was my idea. I mean, it really felt like, you know, we used to toss around the term like 14 or 15 guys, but you know that number 12 is a sacred number around here, and it felt like that was a great fit. And then just to try to paint a picture where the guys as nerdy as possible, you know, that's where the 1.09 came from, and guys liked it, so we stuck with it.
Staying with the run defense, Ernest Jones, just as you say, ball finds energy, just his energy, and then also his instinct. Can you talk to that?
Talking about Ernest?
Yeah, Ernest Jones. I'm sorry.
Yeah, is a great feel for the pace of the play and the runs, and so like he's never really out of whack. He can stay square. He's got so much power where, like, you know, when he does make contact, like ball carriers go backward, and it's a way easier said than done, you know, to really man the middle of a defense, and especially in as much split safety as we play, that's a tall task, but he's nailed it. He's been great.
Look at 5 interceptions. He's got 100 tackles and 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
It's got to be an athlete.
Yeah, well, he's made some tremendous plays to create interceptions, but some of them in tips, you know, that's a ball finds energy type of thing. So to me, it's like I'm psyched he has 5 picks, but I'm more excited about what he does every day to get ready to play and how he kind of plays every play, being in a position to let our defense be productive on that play. And then, you know, if everybody else is doing what we're supposed to be doing, then that's when the ball comes to life, and that's when it finds you.
What stood out to you about watching the 49ers yesterday?
Well, I think just watching it live, it was just an incredibly resilient win. I mean, team has a lot of character. They're really tough, you know. But it's nothing new with these guys. It's what you know. But it's a heck of a win. You know, it's a tough place to go and play and get a win.
What's your philosophy on striking the balance between taking advantage of the rest with the bye week, but also trying to stay sharp and not lose the edge?
Yeah, it's a kind of the $1,000,000 question, right? Is this how much you do, how much do you rest? I thought we felt like, you know, we tried to keep it on cadence as much as possible in terms of what their like body rhythm would be, and then just trust the guys that they were still going to take care of their bodies and get the proper amount of rest over those 3 days. You know, we've had some longer weeks throughout the year where we've been pretty work intensive, and I felt like it was just kind of like mentally draining for us. You know, I think we've proved to ourselves we can, in a week's time, we can put together a great plan and get ready to play a game, and so we wanted to keep that cadence as close as possible.
Mike, you saw a number of players across the league kind of go down this weekend. When you look at the fact that you guys just didn't have to play, how beneficial does that end up being when you see Kittle, when you see Iquanu, all these different pieces kind of go down?
Yeah, the injury thing is really just just stinks. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So you feel for those guys. I look at it through the terms of like we won a wild card game, you know, by what we earned in the regular season. So that's what gets you excited that we've, you know, the position that we put ourselves in. But now we're on level footing with everybody else. We got to go play.
A few weeks ago, when you were asked about Sam's throw to Cup in overtime, you had said if you just tell him to not turn the ball over, he doesn't make throws like that. And
Yeah.
I feel like you made similar sentiments, mostly about young guys, about like coaching them to the effect of not to just go out there and not make mistakes.
Right.
If that makes sense. Is that something you developed over time, kind of that philosophy of coach guys?
Yeah, I think that really, became really clear this offseason as we were really, you know, honing what we want our team to be like and how do we message it, and what does everything mean? You know, what does it mean to go practice every day as a Seahawk? You know, like, what do you want that to look like? I mean, those are questions you have to answer, and you want, if I'm, you know, Joe the rookie, I want to know what the team expects of me on a daily basis. So I think that really helped. You know, and it applies it now. It's like, you know, we're in the playoffs, but you can't be saying like plays matter more. Now I'm not going to play that way. You know, plays matter the same. Still a football game at the end of the day, and we want our guys to play the same way that they played all year, and then go trust the result.
Specifically with Sam and how often he just touched the ball at every snap. Have you seen that maybe beneficial for him, to just like telling him to just go rip it as opposed to like not mess up, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean that's why we coach him that way. It's because he does have the ball all the time, and that's where the style is going to come to life, and that's when Sam's at his best too. And I think any quarterback for that matter, but especially Sam, and he's played great football when he's played like that. So that's why we coach him that way.
You had coached against Devon, Witherspoon, and I know seen him a lot, stuff like that before you became coach. But is there anything that you had an impression of him then, and has anything really changed, kind of coaching him these last couple of years, just being around him every single day?
Well, I'd say the biggest experience I had with him was when he came on a visit during the draft process, and the energy stood out. You know, like the excitement. Sometimes it's hard to tell, like if it's like hey, is this a thing that like that you're just doing, or is this like a thing that like this is who you are? And so, you know, in the visit and the time you had him, of course, yeah, you're excited and you see the player on tape. In college, you know, I didn't have a lot of exposure to him throughout the year because you're not really watching other teams' defenses. But so that's what, you know, getting to know who he is as a person, and that's just him all the time. His passion for the game, passion for his teammates, his team, the process. Eager to learn, grow. He wants to be great. I mean, all those things are 100% true. I mean, which what makes him so special.
And then what does it, he's kind of getting some awards. He obviously missed 5 or 6 games or whatever. What does that say, I guess, about his impact? That
Yeah, you know, I haven't thought of it through that lens about the time that he's missed, but I think, you know, shout out to the people that are making the votes. I mean, there's as many times as you're upset about guys that probably earned that recognition. I think they nailed it here with Spoon about just what type of player he is. It's an every down thing, you know, that you have to account for this guy. He's a mean, it's on record how we feel about him, but I'm glad that people notice it. Yeah.
The tush push, you guys are 9 of 10. I think you got 4 first downs with the hard count. What have you thought of just how effective that play's been for you guys this year?
It's been great. It's been great. I mean, it's going to be something that we're going to need probably in this game and moving forward. So we got to stay sharp with it and keep doing the things that we're doing. And I'm sure there's some wrinkles off it that we can build off, as well. So, but it's a important part of our short yards package.
Have you evolved at all from the yard? The yard is a yard?
I mean, do you really want me to answer that right now?
But how has that play evolved? The hard count is one way, but how has that play different than maybe when you first installed it?
Well, I mean, the play's been around for a minute, and, you can look around the league and you understand what teams do. I mean, if you're going to pack everybody in, in tight, you have the option to go around, or, I mean, there's things that you can build off. It doesn't have to be a sneak the whole time, yeah.
You talked about how the game is still a football game. Obviously, the things around the football game do change as the playoffs go on. You bring in other people in, players, other folks to talk to the team about, like, the distractions outside?
I think, we talked about it today, but the distractions really are leading up to the game, in my opinion. And so our focus is about all the things that we can do throughout the week to keep our process the same that it's what it's been the whole year. And so if I'm a young player, just having a plan, understand how I want to attack the week, and, making sure I'm doing the things that I can control every day so that we can go play football when the ball's kicked off. I mean, it's really that simple. But these are the things we've talked about throughout the season. Is at some point in our program, we're going to end up in a place where we want to be, and it's going to be a first for us. And why would you make it any different than what got you to this point?
There's a lot of teams that were very aggressive on fourth down throughout the playoffs this weekend, and you guys, for a variety of reasons, ended up last in the NFL in fourth down attempts. I'm just curious, like, your perspective on fourth downs, how that's evolved, and what you thought about some of those decisions.
What's the decision you can make in that independent time that's going to give you the best chance to win the game? And that's how we look at it. We have a model, we have a plan going into games, and then every time there's a decision to be made, then we make that decision. But it's not like we're just we don't go for fourth downs. It's just we're not in the situation where we feel like it's worth it in some of those situations.
Couple more, Curtis. You gonna bring anybody else back off injured reserve this week for practice? George or anybody? Is that a plan?
There's some guys that are eligible to do that. Yeah, that are possibilities.
And
everybody but the guys that we said are out
yeah.
for the remainder of the season.
And Jack's getting first team All Pro. Just kind of your thoughts on that, given his season and everything.
Yeah, it's great. Again, same thing with Spoon. It's like, the stats back it up. The tape backs it up this year with Jax. He earned it. Really happy for him. I'm sure if you ask him right now, he said he's excited, but we got work to do, and we can celebrate it later.
With the tush push, the teams that run that play, generally, do they all block it the same up front?
There's a couple of there's not much variation in the front, but like where they're like aiming points and things like that, it changes on some of the teams and what they're shooting for, yeah.
And then with Sam, what's the idea? I believe Sam has been in on all of those plays, if I'm not mistaken. What's the idea behind keeping him in there?
Well, we could use him.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to be in that formation either. I mean, it's a personnel group we use all the time, so we run other plays out of that personnel group too.
How's Kobe Bryant progressing?
He's doing good. He's on, like, all the guys except for the two are eligible to come back this week and should be practicing.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Okay, all right, thank you.